So yeah, so let's start with some of these are kind of just teasers. They're only like a minute and something long, so there
Yeah.
really isn't much to really discuss all that much. But first one's gonna be Beetlejuice 2. Beetlejuice. The juice is loose.
The juice
There.
is loose.
Which I don't know how much you want to reference OJ Simpson in your thing, but I don't know. Do people kind of do they know that reference, OJ? Do they kind of know that reference? Probably
Uh,
too old, right?
yeah. I think if you know that reference, you're already old.
Damn, I'm old. Damn, I know that. But yeah, so Beetlejuice 2, like you said, it's been kind of in production hell for a minute now.
Oh yeah.
For some years, and people kind of tossing out news about it. But it's officially it's a thing. Tim Burton's coming back to do it. What were your thoughts on the first Beetlejuice? Do you see the first Beetlejuice as a classic?
I do
Okay. One of the
wholeheartedly. It's Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands, and he didn't direct it, but he did produce it with a Nightmare Before Christmas.
yeah.
I think that of the three, I think Nightmare Before Christmas is my personal favorite. But I think all three of them is when before his style got too overly used.
Mhm.
It was still unique and interesting and very Tim Burton-esque, and then he just overused the heck out of it.
Yeah. Man, I'm trying to think of the last Tim Burton movie because I see Beetlejuice as a movie. I really like Beetlejuice as well. I think it's really great. I'm trying to think of like one I really like the last Burton movie I really loved. Looking at his filmography here, I got it pulled
Mhm.
up. Probably was Big Fish. Like that's probably the last one I really loved, and
Yeah,
that was in '03.
yeah,
That was like 21 years ago.
that felt like the last true Tim Burton movie.
Yeah, and then ever since then, it's like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, no, Corpse Bride. I didn't see Corpse Bride, that was pretty good. I think that was alright, maybe.
It
Sweeney
was
Todd,
okay.
uh,
It wasn't bad. It was fine. It basically felt like a retread of Nightmare Before Christmas. It's like I've seen this.
Sweeney Todd, I don't think I've seen Sweeney Todd. Maybe I did see it on TV or something. How'd you feel about Sweeney Todd?
Uh, I thought it was pretty good actually. It was not bad. Uh, Alan Rickman is in it, and he's fantastic.
Alice in Wonderland, I've seen,
Oh,
that
that's
was
garbage.
was alright, I guess. Dark Shadows, uh,
Ugh.
Frankenweenie,
Yeah.
uh, Big Eyes.
Big Eyes is good. Big
I
Eyes
heard
is
Big Eyes was alright. Yeah, I
yeah.
heard
Big
that
Eyes
was
is pretty good.
that's with, Amy Adams and Christoph
Yeah.
Waltz. That's based on a true
Yes, it is.
story of the chick who draws those weird ass fucking paintings.
Yeah, and then her husband tried to take collection of it, and then she came out of the shadows, and
Miss Pettigrew's Home for Peculiar Children. That's like Goth Kids X-Men.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Of course, he'd be all over it.
I don't think I've seen that one. And then Dumbo he did. And then now he's doing this one, 24, Beetlejuice, is I guess the title
Mhm.
for it. So like I said, it's mostly just kind of a teaser. You're seeing it kind of set up here. You don't really not get much. You know that okay, Winona Ryder's back. Michael Keaton is back as
Still as a
Beetlejuice.
goth.
Yeah, still is a goth. I mean, she's goth for life. It wasn't just a phase mom. You know, she's goth for life there, as you see. And Winona Ryder, she's kind of been making a little bit of a comeback. I mean, you know, since
Stranger
her
Things.
yeah, Stranger Things, her peak '80s time there. She was the big star back in the '80s.
Oh
Winona
yeah.
Ryder was. But now we see presumably the new lead of this that we're going to see here is Jenna Ortega, who's going to be the new person. Who Jenna Ortega is the hot new thing at the
Hmm.
moment right now. A lot of people associate her with kind of the goth kind of aesthetic now, look now. As you can see there, a lot of people kind of she has that very kind of, and she also was Wednesday Adam, which was another Tim Burton project there that he show
Hmm.
ran, which I thought was it was not so great, but it was I
Yeah.
guess it was okay. I mean, you mainly see it for Jenna Ortega as Wednesday, who she does a good Wednesday. She does a pretty good Wednesday. Um, yeah. So what's kind of your thoughts on this little bit of a teaser trailer that we have here?
I mean, I'm happy to see Michael Keaton getting more work. Uh, it's it's interesting to see the characters have not evolved. Winona Ryder just being in the goth look, I'm like, I mean, Yeah, but maybe not dressed exactly like you were, you know?
She looks more like,
Like a
Trini
vampire.
Trinity from The Matrix, I was
Yeah,
gonna
she
say.
does.
I was gonna look more like Trinity here.
Yeah,
Uh,
so I don't know what to say really.
yeah. Um, so, like I said, this kind
Especially because by the end of the first movie, she's actually dressed similar to Jenna Ortega is and actually
mm,
starts making friends.
well, maybe here she's dressed like this because this seems like a funeral.
Yeah, with her
So,
in mourning.
yeah, so maybe that's why she's kinda dressed more in the black kinda clothes because it's a funeral. Um, so yeah, you see, and they're playing also in this trailer here, they do bring up the classic song that was what's the name of that song from Beatles? Uh,
Shake, shake, Sonora. Shake it all the time.
yeah, that song. I don't know, is that the name of the song? I don't know the name of the song, but
I
they do
don't know
bring
the
this.
exact same. I just know the lyrics.
Yeah. Well, sing it, Dustin.
No,
Party,
I
man.
don't know.
But yeah, yeah. So they do bring that song back. You see that. Michael Keaton also. You do get a glimpse of. You get to see him in his all his glory back as Beetlejuice
He actually
there.
looks scarier now than he did before.
Let me see. Let me go to the frame there where he can see his face. There we go. Yeah. So you can kind of see his face right
Yeah,
there.
he's just like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he does kind of look a little bit more horrific there now.
Yeah, he's got more of that hobo look.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, good to see Michael Keaton. I mean, getting some more work. I do love Michael Keaton.
You
Um,
were robbed for Birdman. You should have won.
who won the year that he won for Birdman?
Daniel, not Daniel Red, Eddie Redmayne.
Oh,
He won for
for
A Theory of Everything, which shocked everybody that he
yeah.
won for that.
Well, hey, they got to do a sequel. He's on Epstein Island. They got to do a they got to
Yeah.
do a, they got to do a sequel. Um, so yeah, yeah. Jenna Ortega, do you think she's too overexposed at the moment? Do you think there's no more?
I mean, yeah. But so was Winona Ryder around the time too.
Mm, yeah. I mean, Jenna Ortega, she does need something else. I mean, she's not gonna be back in Scream, and then I heard recently with Scream 7, they are gonna bring back Nev Campbell. So Nev Campbell's agreed to come back,
Damn.
for Scream 7, so
God, let that franchise die.
nah, man, it's gotta come back, man.
They
It's
ever
always
gonna, I
more.
was always gonna come back.
Yeah. Evil never dies, man. Halloween said that, evil
That's
never
true.
dies.
Evil never dies, and that we need to take that completely.
And then this is coming out. So Beetlejuice 2, I think, let's see, when is this? It's coming out September 5th is when it's coming out. So yeah. What are you kind of expecting from Beetlejuice 2, if anything?
Uh, for it, you know what? I have no expectations.
Mm, no expectations.
I I just don't have the heart for it. It doesn't. Tim Burton hasn't made a good movie in many moon. The last
Mm,
good one was Big Eyes, which was kind of a combination of his work and historical aspects. He lent his style to it, but he was actually more pulled back. Big Fish is really good, and everything else he's kind of done has been pretty bad. Man, you forgot about Dumbo. Dumbo was 2019. That was awful. So
yeah.
it's just been trash, trash, trash for a while now. Maybe going back to his roots will help him, but and I
Um,
hope that for him. I don't want to go in negatively, but we'll see. We will see. I'm also one of the few people that actually remembers there was a Beetlejuice animated TV series that was actually pretty darn good.
yeah. That's like back in the day, they were making animated series out of everything.
Oh
They were
yeah,
just
it didn't matter if it was R rated or anything else. They made a kid show for it.
yeah, they were just
They
making
had
animated.
RoboCop. They had Rambo animated TV series, Fighters of Freedom. It was actually pretty good. The
And,
complete
did you like the
series.
voice of Beetlejuice in the animated series?
Yeah, I actually think he did pretty good. I think everybody did pretty good, honestly. They also expanded the lore a bit more and did some
Mm,
fun stuff. It was very creative, honestly.
mm.
And instead of being enemies, they were actually friends. Where he
Okay,
was,
and they
yeah, they made basically Beetlejuice into basically like a weird genie
mm. So
where
they were
he
kinda, like,
helps her out. Yeah, go ahead.
going on adventures in, like, the demon world?
Yeah, they kind of took away they took away the two other characters
Uh,
Sorry.
Alec Baldwin and Gina
Yeah,
Davis.
yeah. They took away those characters and they just left Winona Ryder and her parents. And Beetlejuice was basically almost kind of like a weird guardian slash genie kind of character, ghost of the most.
Mm.
So yeah, they kind of changed it up, but it worked. It was pretty solid.
Mm, okay. Maybe I'll check it out. I mean, if it maybe it's on HBO Max, maybe probably
It,
not.
probably not.
Yeah. But what am I expecting? I mean Tim Burton, like you said, I mean he hasn't really done anything that's wowed me in a minute now. Um, him going back to his roots, what can he do here? Maybe he has an idea for something. Usually when we see sequels of movies from, 20, 30 years, sometimes it can work, you have things like Blade Runner 2049, Top Gun Maverick,
Hmm.
Avatar, it can work, sequels after many years.
Well, I
Uh,
mean, Avatar didn't have much going for it anyways, and that's its sequel.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, but mainly with Avatar, it's all about the technology anyway. A lot of it with the technology, and Avatar 2 is just Avatar 1, but this time in water instead of the forest. But um, so maybe he can kind of rekindle that magic again. Maybe Jenna Ortega can be like his new muse, maybe like how Winona Ryder was. Maybe he needs another one like Johnny Depp. Like you see what happened with Martin Scorsese. Like after Robert De Niro got too old, he's like, oh, I got to find a new guy to find in love with. I got to find somebody new, and he got Leonardo DiCaprio. So maybe he can find that through Jenna Ortega, and that could be his new person. Like I said, he already did a project with her with Wednesday, even though I thought Wednesday wasn't that great.
Yeah.
I think it was really dragged down by the whole love triangle element. I thought that sucked, and I
Mm.
think even Jenna Ortega hated that love triangle too. That just didn't make any sense for the character Wednesday. But I
Yeah,
get
Wednesday always sat me as kind of a uh, two things. You basically you gotta go as a the relationship. Either you have to have the pants in the relationship and surprise her that you can take full command, or she's the pants in the relationship.
yeah, she needs a sub. She's the dom.
Yeah, either that or you kind of basically step up and corral that situation.
You take charge. You be the alpha.
I mean, it's either or. You see, it's not even that word. It's just like the personality. She has a very abrasive, a very focused personality, but she does seem to have a loyalty to her, so to her family. So I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. September 6th is when it's coming out. We could do a retro review for the what you want to do for the movie or what you want to do for the animated series.
Uh the '90s animated series. I haven't seen that in a minute.
Yeah, we could do
Either
that.
way, we could do either way, whichever you prefer.
Yeah. So I haven't seen Beetlejuice 1980. That movie came out what? Beetlejuice 1980, was it 89? Beetlejuice
Yeah,
came out in
80,
88. Came out in
88. You're pretty close.
yeah. So yeah, it'd be interesting to go back to also review that. I do think it is a classic. So yeah. All right. So moving on to another teaser here. We got Alien Romulus kind of going on. So this is the Alien TV show that's going to be coming up on FX. It's going to be from Alvarez. Freddie Alvarez. He did the Evil Dead remake, reboot,
Mhm.
requel type thing, which I liked. I like the
Yeah.
2013 one. He also did the movie Don't Breathe as well, which I also liked. I liked the he did the first one. He didn't do the sequel, which I didn't really like the sequel
Yeah.
all that much.
The first one is very much its own thing. The sequel kind of has to retcons itself.
Yeah. And if you don't know the story of the first one and you get into the second one, you think like, oh yeah, this dude's badass. He's a hero, and then you realize, oh, well, then you watch the first one, like this dude's a rapist. I
Yeah.
was like, wait,
Yeah,
I'm rooting for.
he's an awful person.
And it's like, oh shit, I'm rooting for a rapist here. And then in the second one, he turns into Daredevil plus Punisher. It's like, what the hell? But yeah, so you have him who did that. Those are his kind of credits. Again, this is kind of like a teaser situation here. You do see kind of a little bit more here in this teaser than you did in Beetlejuice. Like you see kind of a little bit more what's kind of going on here.
Mhm.
But you see a lot of course, the xenomorphs here. That's going to be a big element as with any of these alien projects. You see a crew on a ship. You see, obviously a lot of horror situations going to go on there. A lot of
Yeah.
people running from these creatures. Um, yeah, you do kinda have that here. So the story of this, so this is set between the events of Alien and Aliens, the first Alien movie, which came out in '79, and Aliens, which came out in '86. And the story concerns a group of young space colonizers who, while scavenging a derelict space station, come to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe. So that's kind of the setup here. So yeah, and the release date for this is going to be August 16th is the release date. Oh, it's a film. I'm sorry. I said show. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you said show.
Yeah, my bad. It's a film. Sorry about that. I kind of confused because they are doing an Alien show, but
Yes,
they are
they.
doing with
Yeah, I was wondering if that was the one or not.
they're doing one with Noah Hawley. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I got it confused with that one. So yeah. What's your thoughts on this Alien Romulus teaser here?
The Alien franchise has been a very. Received both acclaim and a very battered series. Alien is one of the greatest science fiction movies ever made. Aliens is one of the greatest science fiction action movies ever made. And Alien 3 is an interesting experiment. It's very flawed, but I don't blame the director who came in. He came into a project that was already on their third director and already was doomed to fail in many aspects. 4 was just a tonal nightmare. And then Ridley Scott made his, all right, I'll do it myself with
Prometheus.
Prometheus. And that had some interesting ideas and some of the dumbest scientists I've ever seen in my life, making some of the dumbest choices I've ever seen, and ending on a weird cliffhanger. And then they did Covenant, which was basically a rehash of Alien and abandoning every goodwill you had for Prometheus and just flushing that down the toilet. And kind of ends the franchise in a really awkward place to the point where a lot of people I know just don't ignore Covenant and Prometheus entirely. They basically just ignore. And then we had Alien Isolation, which was is the best Alien game, one of the best Alien games ever made. It's fantastic, and I consider a true canon as the third movie in the franchise, or at least of the original 1, 2, and 3 in Sigourney Weaver's character and Ellen Ripley. Alien Isolation is phenomenal. If you haven't played that game, I highly recommend it. Still great to this day. So it's kind of been a toss-up. Alien franchises had its highs and it's had its lows. So Romulus could be good. The aesthetics look fantastic. I'll say this up front. They look really accurate. There's a lot of attention to detail to the universe of Alien. And I can't imagine a situation more effed than basically dozens of face huggers just coming at you.
Yeah.
You're pretty boned.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen them like all run around like that. I don't think
Yeah, they haven't really. They've always been kind of creative with it, but now with CGI and practical effects advancing as much as they have, you can pull off events like this. And my God, that's terrifying because you're pretty boned in a situation.
Yeah,
You don't have any rifles. You don't have any, or you don't have one on you. You're pretty boned. Now she looks like she has a flamethrower. So in that scene, so she might like do a dodge roll, just barely dodge it, and then just make a run for it until she can shut it place.
that's a good.
Yeah, that's a very 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 phallic imagery.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Geiger wanted. A lot of his imagery is very phallic, very vaginal, very everything to do with sex, basically.
So like you said, the Alien franchise had a lot of highs, has had a lot of lows there. Everything after Aliens is kind of like, you could just kind of leave it, pretty much. Prometheus, I think it's got good ideas in
Yes.
Prometheus, but I think the execution is pretty poor. I think the most interesting thing about kind of the new crop of Alien movies like Prometheus, Alien Covenant is like Michael Fassbender's character. Pretty much,
Yeah, but even my problem with that one with Covenant is his character basically destroys the lore and the mystique. Both Prometheus destroys some mystique of the space jockeys in some ways. and Covenant destroys the Xenomorph Mystique.
Mm. And with Alien Covenant, my issue with that movie is basically just Friday the 13th, but with the alien. That's
Yeah, pretty
basically it.
much.
It's just like a slasher movie. Like, there's even
Yeah.
a scene where they go to shower and then the xenomorph comes in and then kills the person in the shower. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's like, why is
what
this
is
so
this?
Friday the 13th? Like, this is
Yeah.
not the alien. But Freddy Alvarez, so his two things, I like his two things previously. Here with the alien thing, Alien, are you just gonna do Alien and Aliens again, where it's just like, okay, they're trapped on a ship and then the alien is hunting them? Like, how much more can you do with that formula, and what more can you do to advance it, other than that, is the question. And if you're just doing like, okay, it's just another situation where a group of people and they get picked off one by the alien, and then one of them is gonna emerge, and it looks like it's gonna be Kaylee Spinney, who we just saw recently. She was in, Priscilla. She was just in Priscilla. She was just in that. Looks like she's gonna be probably, I would guess, the last one standing there. And you see that she's also holding the gun here from Alien that, Sigourney Weaver had, there. So, and, Kaylee Spinney in, Priscilla, I liked her in Priscilla. I thought she was pretty good in Priscilla. But, yeah, so we'll see. This is coming out, like I said, August 16th, 2024. This is coming out. Um, do you think Beetlejuice 2 or Alien Romulus would be better?
Oh man. Uh Pointing a gun to my head.
Yeah, guns to your head. No, it's a face huggers to your head. What do you
Oh god. Uh Probably Alien Rhombus.
going there? I'd probably go with Alien. I mean, even if it's a
Even if
halfway
it's
decent, yeah, it might be better than Beetlejuice too. Might
Mhm.
be. But, yeah, apparently it's the 7th installment in the Alien franchise, ninth overall if you include, like, Alien versus Predator and all those ones. And then it's a standalone, integral, um, movie, yeah, so it's a standalone integral. And yeah, so we'll see. I'm rooting for Video Alvarez. Hope he delivers a good Alien movie. But I am excited about that Alien TV show coming, with Noah Hawley. Noah Hawley, he did, Legion, which I love Legion. I think Legion is one
Mm,
of my favorite superhero shows, ever. I love Legion. And he also did Fargo, as well, which I did love
mm,
Fargo. I know they just recently did a new season with John Hamm. I kinda drifted off, like, after season 2. I have to watch the latest seasons, but,
mm.
but I do love his work there with Legion, and Fargo. So, yeah. Yeah, that was Alien Romulus. All right, so we got another trailer on deck, and that is going to be for Star Wars Acolyte. Star Wars Acolyte. Now, Star Wars Acolyte. This is going to be one of the latest Disney plus Star Wars shows that have been coming out. We've reviewed most of them. We haven't really reviewed many of the animated ones like Bad Batch or anything like that. But we have done the live action shows. We did Obi-Wan, we did Ahsoka, we did Andor, which I love Andor. If Andor has one defender, I will always be that defender. I love Andor. I will sacrifice my life. But yeah, so I do love that. And so we've done most of the live action stuff. So this is the new live action Star Wars series that's coming, and this is going to be set 100 years before Episode One, which Episode One actually this is its 25th anniversary, by the way, of 1999. Episode One, 25th anniversary of that. Um, and it says the Acolyte said at the end of the Star Wars franchise High Republic era, and Dusk, you're more of a Star Wars
Mhm.
guy than me, so you probably know about this. Approximately 100 years before Star Wars Episode One, it sees a respected Jedi Master investigating a series of crimes that him into conflict with a former Padawan learner and reveal sinister forces. So yeah, there's as you see in this trailer, they say that there is someone hunting down Jedi's, killing Jedi's. So what period has there been much um, extended universe stuff covering the 100 years before Episode One?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Because so tell me a little bit about kind of the High Republic era.
So the extended lore, they don't refer it as the High Republic. That's a Disney era thing.
Okay.
It's not actually what that is. So High Republic before the prequels is it's not too dissimilar. There's a lot of characters that came before, a lot of kind of still exploring the galaxy at certain points. A lot of it is battle. A lot of it is a big war that took place between the Hutts and the Outer Rim, and maintaining the Outer Rim control for a bit, and then eventually just giving up control of the Outer Rim partly. It's a long and taxing battle. The Outer Rim is like the extended edges of the galaxy, and that's where a lot of smuggling business, a lot of grasping, and the Republic at the time is trying to hold on tight. And a couple hundred years before that, there are a lot more Jedi. The Order is a lot more institution. They believe that the last great Sith Lord Darth Bane, or Darth Plagueis the Wise, had at least just before Darth Plagueis the Wise, or around the time that he's going to get a pupil. And Darth Bane was many, many years before that, hundreds of years before that, was the last really great Sith as well.
Hmm.
So this has basically been a couple hundred years, or at least 100 years or so, where there hasn't really been Sith activity, or at least that the Jedi can find. So the Jedi work with the Republic. They're basically their guardian, or at least a guardian. They don't participate in wars. They're actually fairly peaceful. Most of them don't have that much combat experience, occasionally from excursions. Not that this TV series will show any of that, but that's the extended lore. This
Oh,
isn't what we're actually seeing. This is the actual lore that Disney basically decanonized.
okay. And so you got a cast here. So you saw Carrie Ann Moss, people know
Mhm.
Trinity from Matrix fame out there. Also, she was in Jessica Jones. She was a lawyer in that show.
Mhm.
You also have the guy from Squid Games, Lee Jung Jae. As you see there, he was in Squid Games, which Squid Games also is coming back for a second
Mhm.
season. Um,
He was literally hired for this job because Lenny Headley had seen him in Squid Games.
oh well, hey, I mean, he's getting some more work from that show.
Yeah, I mean, good for him.
You know what I mean? That's so good for him there. Amandla Steinberg, who's been in things like that. She was in the Hunger Games series. She was in The Hate You Give. She was also in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. She was in that movie, which I do like
Mm,
a lot. I do love that movie. I do like that movie quite a bit. She is, you see the kind of the warrior that seems like she's the one hunting down the Jedi, possibly there, maybe, or someone that they're gonna maybe join up with later there. She's described as a former Padawan learner who is now a dangerous warrior. Um, Also, you can have Daphne Keene in this, who people remember. She was Logan in Logan. She was X-23 in Logan
mm,
there. I haven't seen her in a minute since
yeah.
Logan. So good for her to get some more work there.
Yeah,
I thought
sure.
she was really great in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, and you also have Jodie Torrance-Smith in this, who plays the leader of the Coven of Force Witches there, who weren't Force Witches also in Ahsoka. They were the ones that are counseling, what's his name? Uh,
Thrawn.
Thrawn, yes. You're counseling him.
Yeah, the witches are completely made up from the Dave Filoni Clone Wars series. They weren't really acknowledged in the extended ECEU for
Okay.
many, many, many reasons why they were not accepted mostly. They were a Dave Filoni invention, and were specifically one tribe from one planet, the Darth Maul planet, and the Night Sisters, and it comes with its own level of problems. And yeah, he brought them back for Ahsoka to varying degrees of more bullshit that they do that basically breaks the whole force and everything, and not even dealing with the force and doing their own dumb thing.
Yeah. You also have a character played by an actor named Manny, and he's from The Good Place. I don't know if you ever seen The Good
I
Place.
have. I
Uh,
enjoyed the first two seasons.
and he was Jason in The Good Place.
Oh.
And you see him in this trailer as well there. So as always with a lot of Star Wars stuff, there's a lot of controversy. Kind
Mhm.
of a little bit. Well, I won't say a lot, but there's a little bit of controversy kind of going on there. The trailer right now, if you have one of the extensions there for YouTube, you can see the dislike number there for the trailer, and the dislike is higher than the likes on this.
Mhm.
Um, so for me, I like Star Wars, casual Star Wars guy. Have I liked most of the stuff Disney has done with Star Wars, not really. But when I like something, I like it. When I don't like it, I don't. Like
Yeah.
I said, Andor, really love that. Really love what they did there. It is getting a second season. I'm hyped for that. But stuff like Obi-Wan, we reviewed it. Very incredibly disappointed by that.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that was
really,
terrible.
really didn't like Boba Fett.
Oh yeah.
Uh, really, Ahsoka. I don't think I was on the review when you
No.
guys. But you did it with Nick.
Yeah, I hated it.
And I forgot how Nick felt about it, dude. I thought
I
he,
think he was mostly ambivalent to it.
yeah.
Mostly ambivalent, a little, but also kind of on my side, going, yeah, I didn't get that.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I felt. I was kind of just like indifferent a little bit to it. I was like, it's okay, I guess. I mean, I think I didn't finish Rebels, so maybe if I finished Rebels, maybe I had
It'd
more.
actually make you angrier. It
Okay.
would make you. I didn't look. There are a lot of fans of Rebels. I'm not the biggest fan of Rebels. It has a lot of problems. But if you were a big fan of Rebels and then you watched Ahsoka, uh, they basically just told you you wasted your time. Boy, did you waste your time watching that,
Okay, interesting. So,
because they were calling the heck out of that, and they just don't do anything you would imagine good storytelling would do.
yeah. So, like I said, the dislikes is kind of going up. This
Mhm.
is as of now. I think this is from Discussing Film. So this is from March 20th. That we're doing this recording on March 22nd. So this is what it was on March 22nd. I mean March 20th.
Yeah,
Right here. So you have 135,000 likes, but then 162,000 dislikes.
it's gotten to 300,000 more.
300,000 more right there.
Yeah.
So am I excited for this show? I mean, I think it looks just okay. Really. I wouldn't say I'm super pumped about it. I think you got a solid cast here. To see what kind of they do. Touching on an area there before Phantom Menace, maybe you can play around with
Mhm.
some more stuff there. This is supposed to be coming out in June 4th, is when it's coming out. So relatively, it's kind of going to be coming up pretty soon. Just
Yeah.
a few months there. And the first 2 episodes, will drop, and then combination, of course, as they always do with these streaming things, 8 episodes,
Oh yeah.
as they always do with that. Alright, so, Dusk, what are
Yeah.
your thoughts on Star Wars Acolyte here?
Uh, so I've been kind of following this show for a while. This has been in production hell for a long, long time. Uh, allegedly, and this is again allegedly,
Mm,
a lot more money has it. A lot more money has gone to the Acolyte than they're revealing, and it's actually been burning money for a while. They've done major reshoots multiple times. Lena Headey has no experience directing any kind of this, and of course not. Lena Headey was the secretary to Harvey Weinstein. She was his assistant, saw all his emails, all that, but she didn't end up in jail. Instead, she's now heading a project, a personal passion project by Kathleen Kennedy, as in her stead. She
says she
doesn't. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean it,
No,
but,
it's all right. Go ahead.
I said so it looks like here she co-created Russian Doll with Natasha Lyonne. I heard Russian Doll was really good. I haven't seen it. I heard it was
It's fine.
okay.
Uh, but yeah, so Lena Headey, very much, she's also openly stated that this is really going to be focused on a queer identity and really have queer identity in this. And I can certainly tell is basically uh, there was a test. Someone did a joke on Twitter, and it was watch this trailer and breathe every time you see a white person.
Hmm.
Oh, you're dead. This is basically it's like a pretty. I don't know. Honestly, I don't care about
Well, isn't that
casting.
the person right there? The person right there? Isn't
Oh,
he?
there you go. You can breathe now. You
Uh,
can take a breath. You can
people
take
care
a
that
breath.
much about that, really?
Again, it was a joke on Twitter, and I thought it was pretty apt. They want to talk about diversity hire and diversity, equity, inclusion. I think this is an unfortunate stance on. I think they care more about that than they do actually making a good show. I have no faith in this show.
Hmm.
Disney has shown multiple time and time again they could give two shits about Star Wars. They've destroyed it actively, and this looks like it's going to be the final thing. And there's a lot of predictions of what this might do to the canon of Star Wars, or whatever canon is left in Star Wars, and it's not great. I have no faith in the show. Personally, the effects look okay. Uh, I've heard mostly on Lena Headey talking about the character
What
and how. Go ahead.
I was gonna say breathe. Isn't Carrie Ann Moss is white, right?
Oh, sure. Okay, I breathed another time. There we go.
I mean, you
Again,
should have breathed the first time. I mean, she
yeah, it's like
you
first
again,
time breath, then second time. Okay, you get 2 breaths with the whole trailer. Got it.
I mean,
Uh,
she's in throughout the whole trailer, though.
Whatever. In any case, my point stands on the nature of it. One line at the very end of the trailer honestly sends it up for me, and that they don't understand. Lenny Head Lane, the people on this show, don't understand Star Wars. Never understood Star Wars. They go, "It's not about good or evil. It's about power and who gets to use it." And like, okay, then you fundamentally do not understand Star Wars and should never been even around it, even a little bit. Star Wars is about good and evil. It's literally what it's about. Jedi are good, Sith are bad. It's that simple. The Jedi, at least,
Uh,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, isn't it kinda shown that sometimes, I mean, the Jedi aren't all good, and it's kind of a little bit
Sure.
more
Again, nobody's
complexity.
perfect, nuances and all that. But the idea that the Jedi, at least the attempt, that's also an extended additional lore. George made his own mistake by adding more to that and trying to make it like that. But the initial series, the whole idea is that there are people who are compassionate and people who are selfish. The selfish people are mostly Sith. The compassionate people are mostly Jedi. And when you start losing the eye of compassion, you start going more into the way of the Sith. You start losing your humanity. That's the point. It is about good and evil. The
Mm.
idea that it's like the same BS with Madam Web when they're going, it's not about great responsibility. You will have great responsibility when you gain power. It's like, no, with great power comes great responsibility. It's because of the burden of power that you then have to have the burden of responsibility.
Mm.
You don't just get responsibility because, for power. I am, man, I'm tired of this. And I understand why people in the Star Wars community, most of the Star Wars people are checked out. I'm going to be honest. They mostly are just watching it for it to burn. They just want it to die. They just need to sell it or get rid of it or be done with it because they've watched it basically get taken to the backyard and like Old Yeller and just put it right between the eyes.
Uh, so I did
Yeah.
see an article there,
Hmm.
that so with them acquiring Star Wars, Disney has made a $12 billion profit, from their initial, because I think they bought Star Wars for, 3 billion,
Hmm.
so they have made a $12 billion profit with this,
Okay.
uh, and that so they're gonna probably still hang on to it for a while now, if they're making that much profit of.
So they had 12. So for $3 billion, they made 12 billion. They could have made 50, 60, $70 billion,
They 4 billion, I'm sorry, they did 4 billion.
4 billion. My point is they've kind of fumbled the ball and they should be making way more money with this enterprise and with this franchise than they are.
Hmm.
And I wouldn't trust the Hollywood Reporter if I'm going to be honest. They fudge numbers.
Okay. So that's what I see right here for now for the number there. If something else comes out, I'll make sure to say that there.
Yeah. I
Uh
mean, I'll go into it. I try to go into it with the best of intentions, but from what I've seen, the interviews I've heard, the thing, and again, from their own mouths, I'm not making this up. You can go check out the interviews and the comments that they make. I'm not making this up. I don't have a lot of faith in this.
mm. So, Leslie Headland there,
Mhm,
like I said, she did it. She co-created Russian Doll. I've heard good things about it. I haven't seen it myself
mhm,
there. That was the show with Natasha Lyonne. Can't you be capable of, show running a show there with the Acolyte? We'll see there, I guess, June 4th. As far as the trailers go, this is more
mhm,
of, I guess you could say, it's teaser trailer in some aspects there. This wasn't that long of one. Um, the story there of like, okay, more of like an investigative series. If you're going to try to go more of a darker territory with Star Wars, try to do a little bit more of a kind of that realm with things, uh, I kind of appreciate that a little bit more. Maybe I don't wanna liken it to something like Andor, but, that's kind of what I appreciate about Andor is that, you can take the Star Wars kinda outta Andor and then more about just this kind of resistance force fighting, and
mhm,
then it still, I think, would work. I think that's what made Andor really good. Um, that's kinda what I want more from Star Wars instead of, more of the Jedi stuff and everything like that. That's kinda more what I want. Um you got some good actors here in this. Let's see how he kind of works here outside of Squid Games because like that was he was speaking Korean there, so let's see how he does he's speaking mostly English in this role there, and he actually learned English for this role there. So, hey, shout out to him, respect to him for that. Carrie Ann Moss, I'm always like to see Carrie Ann Moss in different things. I don't know why she didn't blow up more after The Matrix. There, I think she was very good in that, and also in
Mhm.
other things like Memento as well.
Yeah.
I think she was very good in that. I don't know why she didn't really blow up more, but yeah, I always enjoy kind of Carrie Ann Moss and things like that. Um, so that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like I said, these shows, these Disney Plus Star Wars shows, been mostly for me bad than good.
Yeah.
Um, Only one really great one for me, and then everyone else is kind of mediocre to bad. Whether this will be if this is bad or this is terrible, would it be the nail in the coffin? I mean, people been saying that forever about Star Wars. People said that the Solo movie is going to be the nail in the coffin when that bombed. And people said the same thing about Boba Fett when that did terribly and that got poorly reviewed. People said the same thing when The Mandalorian had a bad season 3, and then now let's get in the movie. So, people say everything is the nail in the coffin of Star Wars is dead every single time they see something that they don't like of Star Wars, and, they're gonna keep just making this stuff
Oh
and
yeah, it's a dead corpse, and they're gonna keep puppeting it.
yeah, and making more and more stuff there, video games and the comics and more of the extended universe stuff and cartoon shows. Like there's a cartoon show, Bad Batch, is still going on, and then other stuff like What If, like the What If versions of Star Wars they do, like Star Wars Visions, and I forgot the other Star Wars cartoon show they have. That's like the What If version of it or whatever. But yeah, so they're gonna kind of keep doing this. Yeah, the look of the show is like it has these 8 episodes whether they're gonna do like how most of these 8 episode shows go, where they rush the last 2 episodes and it's like a big mess at the end, which is typically how these things go. Um, I kind of expect that because that's just the way it goes. But as always, I hope it's good, and
Mhm.
I don't want to watch something bad. I don't want to really watch something bad there. So I do hope it is good. Um, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts there on the Acolyte series there. Yeah. So there we go. We'll be giving a review of it June 4th. Review the first 2 episodes, and then after it's all done, we'll give a complete season 1 review there of the show. All right. So moving on to another trailer here. Video games. Get into this territory there. Video games. Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. This is the World War II video game here. Uh, and here you're going to be getting to play as Black Panther and Captain America in this. Dust, you said you wanted to kind of a little bit talk about this. What are some of your thoughts on this?
So we didn't get much to really show, just a few things. The voice actor for Steve Rogers, I'm like, a little bit on. Is one by Skynance New Media, which is kind of a new fish in the sea, really, at this point. The Black Panther also in this one is T'Challa's grandfather, Azuri, which he did fight with Captain America back in the day, along with the Howling Commandos. So it is nice to kind of see this. This is also being made by Amy Hennig, who, if people don't remember, she used to be the writer for Naughty Dog. She also did one of the best video game writing team franchises called Legacy of Kain. If anyone's ever heard of Legacy of Kain, it's one of the best well-written video games series ever. She had a big hand in that.
Mhm.
So this is kind of what she wanted to do. This does definitely feel like a Naughty Dog like single player situation, very cinematic, very kind of blending cinema with then some video game moments. I'm hoping that the gameplay is a little bit more than lackluster. Some of the later Uncharted ones kind of dropped gameplay for more cinema, and I would prefer it kind of more the inverse, kind of go to the balance they had with Uncharted 2, where it was equal bouts video game and also movie. Kind of get a bit more of that. But I'm at least intrigued. Amy Hennig was originally part of the team with EA. She was going to do a Star Wars story, a first person, or at least a story driven game, and then that got shut down, along with
Mm.
Visceral Studios, who did the original Dead Space games.
Mm,
So here's hoping this one works out.
yeah. Yeah, and actually this trailer got leaked early because somebody was at the where it's being
Mm.
shown and recorded it and then put it online there. Got leaked a little bit early, where people could watch it. Because like in the I think in the leaked one, the final scene you see where he's talking to where Black Panther and Captain America are talking, Black Panther doesn't have his mask on. Like you just see his
Mm.
face there. He doesn't have his mask. But actually need to see some gameplay of this
Yeah.
before I also make. I mean, the story is good, the setup is good. Captain America in this kind of looks more like what's his name from Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Wyatt Russell. What was the character's name? Uh,
Bucky?
no, the Wyatt Russell. In Falcon and the Winter.
Oh.
John was it like John
Oh,
something?
John Walker.
John Walker. He kind of looks a little bit like John Walker.
Yeah, like USA agent.
Yeah, he kind of looks a little bit like that here. Um, So yeah, I mean, gorgeously. I mean, it's gorgeous looking story here, as you can see. And you look at the face models here, like you see Black Panther. This is him without his mask. Really, really good face work here. And who's playing is voicing Black Panther is Kerry Payton. People might remember he was in The Walking Dead. He was the one with the tiger. If you watched enough past Walking Dead, then you got to that part. I don't blame you for probably checking out, but he was there as that character. Um, in
Yeah,
that
that's like season 7 or 8.
yeah, he was King Ezekiel in The Walking Dead, and he looks. I mean, it's like really. I mean, his exact face is really in this. That's really amazing that they did that. And let's go to some of the voice work here done by him here.
That's far enough! Stay out of my way! Stand aside! I do not take orders from anyone! I don't have time for this. Neither do I.
I think he's also voiced by the guy who does Cyborg.
Um, did he voice
From Teen
Cyborg?
Titan, I think, yeah.
Yes, yeah, he does. He does do Cyborg there on Teen Titans
Nailed
as
it.
well. Yeah, and his voice is really good. I love his voice here.
Mm-hmm. Now he's got like all the voice actors in Teen Titan are all really skilled voice actors. Just, now they're just doing Teen Titans Go.
Uh-huh.
It's like it's
Uh,
into like 6th or 7th season.
but yeah, I mean, so do you think they making a mistake by calling it Marvel 1943? You think they should have called it like something more Captain America, Black Panther, something like with the names in it
Uh,
instead of calling it 1943?
they could have just called it 1943 Rise of Hydra, honestly.
Mm,
Just, I mean, yeah, I think 1943 Rise of Hydra is way too vague. I think,
mm,
yeah, Captain America and Black Panther, and then subtitled Rise of Hydra.
yeah, like interesting. They decided to put the year in it instead of like the main characters' names in it. 'Cause that's more.
Yeah, I mean, if we play characters other than Captain America, how wild would it be though if the original Human Torch and the Submariner show up?
That would be kind of really good. I don't know if you're gonna also play as these other characters. If you're gonna play as maybe one of the Howling
I think
Commandos.
he's one of Hogan's heroes or Captain America's Howling Commandos, the Howling Commandos.
Yeah.
Also, if you're gonna have the Howling Commandos, you should have the entire squad. But
Yeah. And then the wife of T'Challa here. I
yeah,
mean, not T'Challa, but Black Panther here,
Azuri,
Azuri. Maybe you get to play as her in maybe some segments.
we'll
Uh,
see.
we'll see that. So maybe this is the four you're kind of going to be playing with. Yeah, and I kind of
Yeah,
like that. Oh, yeah, there's Wakanda here, and they have okay,
Paris, yeah,
Paris. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Um,
occupied Paris.
So yeah, gorgeous. Yeah, gorgeous looking game. I mean, if the gameplay can look like this, then that'd be really amazing. If they can kind of translate that there. And Marvel, I think superhero video games. I mean, besides Spider Man, I mean, what else really good superhero game is there? Really, I mean, The Guardians superhero game is good, but what else do we really have? Um, Seems like kind of like the Avengers game was bad. What was the new superhero game that just came out? Oh, Suicide Squad. That one didn't do so well. That kind of sucks. So we need some good superhero video games to play. So hopefully this succeeds. And this is coming out in 2025. So it's not like it's like seeing the Blade trailer. And it's like, oh yeah, this is coming out like 2030. It's like way in the future. It's like, man, don't show me this shit if I can't have it.
Mm.
Why you should show me this shit? And it's like all the way in 2027 or some shit. It's like, nah. I'm not even gonna probably make it to 2027. You show me. So yeah, you do have that. Yeah. So something on the horizon to look forward to in 2025 video game wise. You said you're playing Helldivers.
Yep.
Yeah, and Rise of Ronin just recently that just released. Mixed reviews. I was kind of disappointed. It got mixed
Yeah,
reviews.
I was really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, there's still Black Myth. That's coming out.
Mhm.
So still got that to look forward to. All right. So, any other trailer you want to discuss before we head out there?
Nah. I think that pretty much covers it.
All right. So that was our trailer talk there. Discuss Alien, discuss Beetlejuice 2, discuss Star Wars Acolyte, Marvel 1943.